This video was published on YouTube by the Taliban Ministry of Defense showing a military drill in the Afghan desert. Before we start, I need to be clear. The Taliban are committing serious human rights abuses and oppression against women and minorities. They are sanctioned and there is an arms embargo to limit weapons supplies. This analysis does not endorse or celebrate their capabilities. But documenting what's publicly visible matters for journalists, researchers, and anyone trying to understand the security situation in Afghanistan and the surrounding region. Hi everyone, I'm Ben and welcome back to my channel on open source investigation techniques. Today in this session we are going to look at exactly how I geolocated this strike during a drill in Afghanistan. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to use multiple reference points to narrow down a location when you don't have an obvious landmark. This is called geoprofiling, and it's one of the most powerful methods in OSINT geolocation. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to download this video from YouTube so I can save it and archive it. You can use any YouTube downloader or any coding platform to be able to download that YouTube video. It's also useful so that you don't make repeat visits to this YouTube channel to increase its views or increase its interactivity. Step 1. Identify the starting geolocation point. As you can see on Google Earth, Afghanistan is a very big country, and so we need to start by having a think about indicators that we see in this video in order to start to identify our journey of geolocation. So first, let's establish our anchor point. At 1 minute 50 in the footage, we can see what appears to be a former coalition airbase in Afghanistan. Now there's a lot of air bases in Afghanistan. I've gone through most of them, and one specific one that I think that this resonates with is in Kandahar. Specifically, this large air base. Now I'm not just saying I think it's there, I need to prove it's there, because otherwise I'm on a wild goose chase. So first of all, what are we seeing in the footage? Well, we have a helicopter on the apron, we have a large building on the left, a wall, trees in the background, a large building on the right, and this sandbag retainer wall over here with a couple of layers of other bags and a little white box. When I look at this airbase, there's a couple of things that stand out to me. There appear to be sections along the airbase of where equipment would have been left. There's nothing over here, there's nothing up here. There are some things down here, and they happen to be helicopters. If we scroll through from previous imagery, currently we're looking at 2025 in March, but if we go back in time to 2024, we also see the helicopters there in 2023 as well. And if we go back even further in 2019, we see a lot more aerial equipment there. I'm going to go back to my 2025 clear imagery, and the fact that we have helicopters here is a bit of a tip off to me. So the next thing I'm going to do is look for a wall next to this building. I can see a wall coming out in front of the helicopters here, and I can see a building in the background. That building has two little, appears to be chimneys or whatever they are on the top of it. Yep, there's two little chimneys. It's also angled. You can tell that by the shadow. There should be a little thing in the middle between the door and the roof. Indeed, if we go back on imagery to 2024, we can see that there is a spot between the roof and the doorway. Also, the doorway looks quite similar. Second thing we notice, coming a little bit more closer, is this little white box against the retainer wall. We see that. We can see trees in the background. We have those. We have another building here. So I'm fairly convinced that this helicopter is sitting in about this location right here, and the view that we have is this one right here. I'm going to pop a pin in here and identify this location as lock 1. I'm only calling it that for good note keeping. But remember, we have a whole video here, not just one. And there's a whole military drill that happened, as well as the shooting of their target and the drop off of soldiers. So we haven't finished just yet. We've done a cool geolocation, but that's not it. So let's move over to step 2, tracking the flight. Well, we seem to have a few shots of fly arounds here, and those are pretty good because it gives us an overview of the area. If we go backward a little bit more, we can see this area, lots of sand dunes and empty regions. Now, if I zoom out and have a look at where Kandahar is located, well, it just happens to be north of a very large desert in Afghanistan. And so this desert, south and southwest of Kandahar, is known as the Registan Desert. It's one of the largest sand deserts in Afghanistan. As the helicopters and jets fly over this area, I'm looking for distinctive terrain features. So, for example, we can see this feature along here where there's a kind of flat, sandy area, then the green stuff is over on the horizon, and then we have the sand dunes. This is quite an interesting feature because if we have a look along the corners of the Registan Desert, we primarily see sand dunes all the way along, except for some locations. For example, this location where we have a flat area and then pretty much very visible sand dunes. And if we have a look at the view that we're able to see, well, that looks pretty similar to exactly what we're looking at here. So that's a pretty good start, but again, it doesn't really drill down anything. And so I'd like to take that detail a bit further. At around the 5-minute 39 mark, we're able to see a gap within the sand dunes. It looks like quite a flat area, and a long line across this. That line spells out to me that it could be human-made, it could be from regular vehicles driving past, or pretty much anything, to be honest. And so what I'm going to look for in the desert is a line that fits that match, especially around this area that I already identified as being in that location. Now the line is in the middle of the desert, there's this gap in the sand dunes over here, and I already saw one over this direction, which draws a thick line over here across this gap, and it kind of matches this one that we're seeing right here with that view there. The line is interesting because it also gives us a couple of features such as this flat area and then dunes kind of growing into the flat area. So I want to have a look if I can find this feature right here, just to make sure that this is correct. So if we're looking at this, I'll bring this one up. There we are. We can see that exact same pattern, even the little bit in there across here. So we know we're in the right region for where this drill actually happened. I'm going to mark this as Lock 2. The Lock 1 and Lock 2 are not things that I am saying are in sequence or in order. They're just locations that I use for my own note keeping. But still, I don't have the exact location as to where this happened. So one of the other things I want to look at is back to the start. I actually noticed that the soldiers were being dropped off. It's also worth mentioning I did have a look at the plan when they were walking through with the mud map. Unfortunately, there weren't very many features that I could dig out of that. However, the soldiers were dropped off in the desert in this location here. What we can tell here is that in 2 minutes 19, we're definitely looking out over the dunes. And then at 2 minutes 26, it definitely seems like we're at the edge of the dunes, but also the edge of that clear flat area as well. And then we can see the grass over here. So I need to orientate my map so that I am looking at the grass. I need to find a flat bit within the middle of the dunes that looks like that. There's not too many flat bits that look like that. It doesn't seem to be over here, because that would be too close. This is very much in the distance over here. So there is a flat bit over here, and maybe I might orientate myself in this direction, see if I can find this little corner piece right here. I'm thinking I might be onto something around here. And if I tilt my camera, it's possible that one of the locations that we are now looking at again is this location. Again, I could be wrong, so I need to verify that. Perhaps it's at an angle of around here with a round bit there. The location we might be looking at for where the soldiers were dropped off is about this location, very likely here. You can see the green in the distance, or this kind of area. We can see this kind of end loop here, this one, and then a bit more coming out here and a bit more around here as well. There's a few other things we can look for. There's a couple of other angles. I might pop this as Lock 3. Okay, now for the next part. We've managed to identify exactly where the soldiers were dropped off. We've also got a flyover section within the desert. I can't imagine the soldiers would have walked too far. If we measure how far this is, they would have maybe done a few kilometers at most. So we don't have a huge area to search, but what we can now do is go through the footage and identify some of those key points, especially in the latter footage where the strike actually happened on the ground. So what we want to do is to now look for key indicators within the footage to understand some of these patterns. So here's the explosion footage. It's really good, around 5 minutes 54. Another one, they love their airstrike footage. There's a great video here of the helicopter flying into obviously where there's some cars that have been parked. So maybe some lazy generals have been parked out here to have a cool view. And that again could be any of these locations. I think this is really useful footage, so it gives us an indication that it's not just a flat empty area like some of these. So we've got this kind of thinner thread coming through here and then little bits coming out. I think this one's such a useful frame just because of that thin thread that we can see over here. Very, very similar to what we've got up here. Very much matches the features in the land. If we can see this section right here, this almost reminds me of this right here. And so now we can start maybe punching left a little bit along these dunes and see if we can match up some of the shapes. I'm thinking about this big dune right here with a long spine that lifts up and then goes into something else. And we've got a couple of little bits in there. Maybe we've got a closer view of that dune here. We've got a few little bits in there. It was right next to the explosion as well. So if we could find that one, that would be very useful to then identify this location. So that spine or that section with the bits, just having a kind of light overall look as to some of the dunes that might be facing that way as well. A lot of them are. But again, not too many have this long spine coming out, especially how we saw it over here, the long spine coming out there. Already my eyes have gone to this one with a long spine coming out. A very rounded kind of top, and then also a couple of little bits in the middle there, and then a rounded part up the top and then a bit across. I do like this one as a potential match. If we can go in a little bit closer, we can see some of the things in there. So if we go back to our previous one that we saw, yeah, there were some good indicators in this dune here. So let's have a little match with this. So what we could potentially be looking at is this dune right here. The spine seems to go down. There's a bit that comes around. We've got the same similar features up here. If we zoom in a little bit more and get ourselves intimate with the details, start to see this cut along here and this one here. Can't really make out the lip over here, but there's a little bit that goes in and we've got a bit more. So I think it's possible that this could be the location. I'd like to zoom out a little bit more and have a look at those details a bit better. Perhaps even this line. I'm going to pin this as lock 4. Yeah, this looks good. If I'm not mistaken, and we're facing this way, then this bit would be this. And so it looks like we've got a fairly good location. There's a lot matching up there. And then if we go back out, we can now match up our image that we had here before, which is such a great image, actually. If you're quite brave, you could have done the geolocation just from this image alone. I think it was more definitive to go the route that I took to find this specific match, and then the actual location. Just to finish it off would be working in a bit deeper. So we got this close up of the strike right here. If we position our camera so that we're seeing the same thing, we have this little cut and then this section about here. Mashallah, very accurate. So let's just summarize what we've actually done here. So we started at Kandahar Air Base with location 1. We cross-referenced location 2. We identified the drop off the soldiers at location 3. We identified the sand dune at location 4, and that led us to the bombing or the practice bombing at this location, essentially our 5th location. And so we've got those 4 locations, and this obviously matches some of those views we were looking at before by having a look at the features in the distance to match those up. If we wanted to make a graphic to prove that, I would effectively use some of these positions, perhaps even a more zoomed out one to show a map facing north with Kandahar up here and these ones down here, and then maybe a zoom in match. I would do a match of Kandahar, a match of this one down here, and then a zoomed in match just to show the kind of overall location and then the final coordinates of where this strike happened. And very accurate indeed. But we're not finished yet. I think it's always important with geolocations to mention, why does this matter? Well, first, it demonstrates that the Taliban are conducting coordinated military exercises using inherited equipment. Whether that equipment is fully operational or just for propaganda is a separate question, but the activity is real. Second, this kind of analysis is used by journalists, human rights organizations, and security researchers to independently verify claims, track military movements, and document what's happening in areas with restricted access. And third, it shows how OSINT techniques can turn propaganda into intelligence. The Taliban published this video to project strength, but if you'll notice in the video, they went to links to edit out verbal indications of locations. They weren't explicit in any geographical indicators. And so by geolocating it, we've documented exactly where they're operating, what terrain they're using, and what capabilities they're demonstrating. This also lets us know that at least once, coordinated drills between Taliban Special Forces and the Air Force have happened out of Kandahar Air Base, a former coalition airbase where US, UK and other military were stationed and operated out of. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this session useful, don't forget to give it a subscribe in order to stay up to date with other sessions similar to this that come out, but also don't forget to share it with a friend or a colleague who also might find it useful. Until then, I'll see you in the next session.